Seated. So make your way there. It could be nice to place a blanket underneath your seat or a pillow. Roll your shoulders back to lift your spine tall. And decide where you want your hands this morning. They can be in your lap, on your knees, palms up, palms down. Whatever resonates this morning. Take a few movements to move the goodness away from your seat. We'll go ahead and find stillness here. Maybe you blink your eyes closed or soften your gaze. Notice your surroundings. Is it warm? Is it a little chilly? Is it just right? Is any noise or smell? Maybe you made coffee before this. Maybe you find you want to move your neck, your head a little bit. We'll bring our awareness to the crown of our head. Shining a light through the top. And as you focus here, what does it feel like? Are there sensations? Maybe it's a little tingly. Or maybe you feel nothing at all. We'll slowly make our way down, shining that light through your body as we focus on sensations, tightness, making your way all the way from the crown of the head to your toes. No rush in getting to the bottom. Next, I'd like to take us through a counted breath exercise. So you can keep your hands where they are, or maybe you place them one on top of the other in the center of your chest. So for our counted breath, I'll cue a 4-count inhale. a 7-count hold, and then an 8-count exhale. So the choice is yours if you'd like to stick to those numbers. If things are uncomfortable or you're just not into it, I invite you to take your own breath. But I'll cue through the length of this exercise. And you decide if you'd like to participate. So to begin, we'll start with a collective breath, taking a nice inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And we'll begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Return to the normal rhythm of your breath. We'll blink our eyes open and invite some movement into our bodies. So we're going to start in a butterfly position with our the bottoms of our feet touching. And you can pull the feet towards your pelvis, or you can extend them a little bit forward. And this will change the sensation through your hips. So maybe you play around a little bit with the feeling. Knees do not need to be on the ground. Mine aren't available to touch the ground. That's okay. So with an inhale, we're going to roll those shoulders back. Take a nice lean behind you and lift your gaze up towards the sky. Breathing here. Noticing the breath flowing through the front of your body. With an exhale, we'll hinge at our hips, meeting with our belly and chest and chin, coming into a forward fold here. Knowing it doesn't have to be a deep fold. Coming into that phase 1. And breathe. Your hands can be in front of you. Your chin can be tucked, or maybe you like to place your elbows on your knees and push them down towards the ground. Maybe you need to come in and out of this posture. We'll be here for 5 breaths. On an inhale, lift yourself back up. Sweep your arms behind you and shake those legs out. We'll come back to seated. Again, if you'd like to place a pillow or a block underneath your seat, that can feel really good and provide some extra support. We're going to get into our neck a little bit. So draw your chin to your chest with your spine tall. Begin to take half circle movement. And inviting in your breath. We'll pause when our right ear is hovering over its right shoulder. We'll play around with our gaze. So dropping your chin down and then inhaling, lifting that chin up. Moving with your breath here. Up and down. Inviting you to find stillness if that's resonating with you. Go ahead and pause wherever it feels best. And you can draw some little circles with your left hand on the mat. Feeling that stretch from your jaw to your shoulder. Maybe you find a spot that feels really good. And again, finding stillness where it resonates. If you took your hand variation, put it back in its place, and then we'll roll our chin to our chest and make our way over to our left side. Left ear hovering over left shoulder. And begin to move your chin up and down. Inviting that pause, that stillness. You don't have to do the same arm variation on this side, but if you'd like, you begin to draw your little circles, your right fingertips. Be still. When you're ready, lift your head through center. And we'll make our way into tabletop position. And once you arrive, move through a series of cat and cow on your own. It doesn't have to be cat and cow. It can be sways to the side. Really whatever feels good. When you're ready, bring your knees to the length of the mat. Big toes come to touch. Sink your heels or your hips back as you walk your hands forward, coming into an extended child's pose. Listening to your breath on the mat. Now's a good time to set an intention for our class. Maybe you create an I am statement. This morning, I am strong. I am confident. I am peace. And I invite you to make that statement as we move and flow. Maybe when things are a little tight, use that as a reassurance. With an inhale, move back to your table and we'll come into downward facing dog. Hips high, pedal out your feet here. Bring your gaze towards your hands. We'll step forward, coming into a forward fold. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. Sway. Releasing the low back and the back of your legs. Release your hands down to the ground and on an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, rise to stand, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll place our left hand on our right shoulder and right hand on our left hip. So we're kind of twisting up a little bit here. And once your hands have found their space, use your left hand to pull your right shoulder over to the left. We're coming into a standing twist. So hips are squared forward. And the twist is coming through your abdomen. So I love this twist. I feel like it's through the length of my spine, but also through my front hip. Wherever you are feeling it is exactly where you need it. So breathing here. And maybe you're able to twist a little deeper. Unwind through center. Release those hands. And right hand finds left shoulder. Left hand finds right hip. And with an inhale, rotate over to the right. And hips squared forward here. Breathing in as you lengthen, breathing out as you twist. Unwind as you come through center, releasing your hands. With an inhale, arms go up and overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands plant, right leg steps behind you, coming onto that back knee. Tension in your fingertips, lift your chest off your knee, your gaze goes up. Coming into a lunge. Go ahead and bend and straighten that left knee. Invite some movement to that right hip. Coming back to stillness. Bring your left hand on the inside of that left foot. Sinking your right hip closer to the ground. And then maybe you roll on your pinky toe side of that left foot and bring your gaze over your left shoulder. Now your left hand can rest on the inside of its knee. If you'd like, you can bend into your right knee here. And sweep that left arm behind to find the pinky toe of your right foot, sinking the hips. And gaze goes over left shoulder. Whatever variation you took, let's meet with our left foot back between our hands, curling up on your right toes. Step that left leg back to meet the left, coming into a high plank. We'll sink to our knees as we lower ourselves down to the ground, completely, chin resting on the mat. And with an inhale, lift your chin, your chest, coming into baby cobra. Maybe you wiggle your hips out here. Noticing how that releases your low back. And with an exhale, make your way to table. And eventually we'll meet in downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift that right leg high. Bend into your knee to open up the hips. And we'll meet with that right leg between your hands, coming down onto your left knee. With an inhale, lift yourself up. To meet with our hands overhead. Now you might want to walk that right foot forward and sink into your left hip. Or maybe you shorten your stance. Deciding what feels good in your body. And with the exhale, we'll sweep our right arm behind us, left arm forward. Coming into another twist. Breathing here. And let's meet with our hands at heart center. prayer twist. And then hook your left elbow outside the right knee, using that connection to deepen your twist here. Ensuring that your neck is long. Maybe you bring your gaze towards the sky. And breathe. Release your twist as you bring your hands up and overhead. Exhale, hands plant around your right foot, curling up on your left toes. Make your way back to your high plank, and we'll come into downward facing dog from there. Bring your gaze towards your hands. Step, hop, multiple step up to that forward fold. Inhale as you lift halfway. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands plant. Right leg steps back, coming down to your right knee. Tensing those fingertips. Lift your chest off your knee as you bring your gaze towards the sky. So right knee is forward. I just realized that my left knee was forwards. But making sure we're doing this on the other side. We just switch it up. And then we'll invite some movement into that right leg. We make some circles. We'll find our stillness. And then bring your right hand on the inside of the right foot. Seeing if you can sink your hips closer to the ground. Maybe you roll onto the pinky toe side of that right foot. Gaze goes over your right shoulder. Right hand can find the right knee. And this side might feel different. Simply acknowledge that. Sign no judgments. Your sides don't have to look or feel the same. If you'd like, you can bend into your left knee and reach your right hand out to find the pinky toe side of that foot, twisting. This side is a little harder than the last side. My hips can't sink as close to the ground. Reframe your right foot, heel toeing it back through center. You might need to shake out your left wrist. And then curl up on those back toes, coming into your high plank. You can lower down with the knees or stay up on your toes. We'll make our way into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift that left leg high, bend into your knees. And when you're ready, sweep that left foot between your hands, coming down on your right knee. Inhale as you lift both arms up and overhead. Exhale, left arm goes behind, right arm goes ahead. Twist. Might need to adjust where that left foot is. We'll meet with our hands at heart center and come into the prayer twist. Your right elbow will go on the outside of the left knee. And bring your gaze towards the sky. Feeling this not only through our right hip, but through the shoulder blade. We'll meet with our arms up and overhead. Reframe your left foot. Stepping back to high plank. Coming into downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift that right leg up and overhead. Exhale, sweep your right foot forward. We'll come into our crescent lunge. Oops. Just see me. And we'll open up into our warrior two. So sweeping that left arm behind you, rotating your left foot. Arms go long. Checking in to make sure your right knee isn't folding in. Now you're opening through the inner thigh. Maybe you're able to sink a little bit deeper. With an inhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand can tuck behind your hip. Right arm goes long. Come back through warrior two. Reach forward your right hand. And we'll meet an extended angle. Our left arm overhead. Rise through warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Reach forward to come into triangle pose. Release your left hand down to the ground, and we'll frame our right foot, and then twist your left foot so it's pointing forward. So both toes are pointed forward. We're gonna come into a pyramid pose, so you might need to shorten your stance. Now feet are in opposite lanes. They're not one in front of the other. With an inhale, we're gonna lift ourselves up, keeping the pyramid feet, and bring your hands to your hips. And then with an exhale, fold over your right leg. Coming down any amount. Your hands can find the floor, or maybe you have blocks. Maybe you wanna do a reverse prayer with your hands behind your back. Our hands to elbows. With an inhale, lift yourself up. Releasing your hands, we're gonna step your left foot to meet the right and come into a tree pose. So grounding down in that right foot, bring your left foot onto your right ankle. You can keep your toes on the ground. Or maybe they start to slide up your leg. Options for hand variations. Hands can be at heart center. Up and overhead. You can stay on your hips. Knowing that you can come in and out of this posture. Balancing can be tricky. 3 breaths here. Release your foot. Shaking out that right leg. With an inhale, bring both arms up and overhead. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, hands plant, step back to high plank. And make your way into downward facing dog. Inhale as you lift your left leg high. Exhale, sweep that leg between your hands, rising up into a crescent lunge and opening into warrior two on our left side. Breathing here, making sure that left knee isn't folding in, that you're opening through your inner thigh. On an exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reach forward, extended warrior, hands overhead. Warrior two. Straighten that left leg as you reach forward with your fingertips coming into triangle pose. And then look to the ground as we bring our hands forward to frame that left foot. Unwinding your right foot so your toes are pointed forward. You might need to inch that right foot forward, shortening your stance. Again, feet are in opposite lane. Right hip is pointed towards the ground, so hips are squared. With an inhale, lift yourself up. Hands find your hips. And we'll hinge at the waist as we come forward into our pyramid pose. Lift yourself back up. And we'll step our right foot forward, standing at the top of the mat. We're going to come into tree pose on our left side. So grounding down in that left foot, begin to walk those toes up your left leg, any amount. Options for hand variations, welcome. We'll be here for a few breaths. Releasing your tree, picking out that left leg. With an inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands plant. Step back to high plank. Come into your downward facing dog. With an inhale, we'll lift our right leg high and set up for half pigeon. So your right knee can meet the right wrist. Your foot can be, you can decide where that right foot plants. Actually like to tuck the heel into my left hip flexor. Once you have your legs situated, use your fingertips to lift your chest towards the sky. Gaze goes up. You can stay here or begin to fold over any amount. So you can have your Sphinx arms. You can stack your fists so your forehead rests. Come all the way down to the ground. You decide. Maybe you come back to your I am statement if you set one. You're ready. Lift yourself. Hands plant. Curl up on your left toes. And we'll make our way into three-legged dog with your right leg extended. You might want to shake out your hips. Step that right foot back down to the ground and we'll set up for half pigeon on our left side. So with an inhale, extend that left leg. Exhale, left knee, left wrist, and decide where you want that foot to go. When your legs feel somewhat comfortable. I never feel fully comfortable. Lift up on your fingertips as you bring your gaze to the sky. You can stay here or find a fold that resonates with you. Again, it doesn't have to be what you did on the last side. But we'll find stillness and allow this pose to do its job. Releasing our psoas. You're ready. Lift yourself. And sweep that right leg forward. We'll set up for our final Shavasana. Maybe you find some socks or a sweatshirt, pillow. Maybe you rest on your belly or your back. The choice is yours. You're ready to move on with your morning. I invite you to bring movement back to your body. Maybe you take a slow body stretch. Tuck those knees into your chest. On your own time, make your way to seated. Bringing your hands to heart center. It is an honor and a pleasure to practice with you. Thank you so much. Bringing your thumbs to your forehead, the third eye center.